Hey, welcome into another edition of Dolphins Today. And hey, I've read the comments. I know what everybody's talking about. Yes, it's the bye week for the Miami Dolphins, but we are all wondering, when is Devonhn coming back? What's the latest? And good news for you, we're covering it on this edition of Dolphins Today. So lots to get to. Buckle up, dial it in, and let's talk a little bit of ball, starting with Devonhn and the latest on whether or not he'll be ready to go off of IR for the Dolphins' next game. Take a look at this from Barry Jackson. We often turn to one of the best beat writers in all the land for the latest and greatest around the Aqua and Orange, and he has some quotes from Mike McDaniel's press conference earlier this week saying Achane so far so good, and that's Mike McDaniel talking about the progress that Devonhn has made, and there hasn't been any reason to think he'll be on IR any longer than expected. And again, just to keep you up to date on the timeline, Achane went on IR with the expectation and the hopes of being able to come off IR after the bye week. So here we are in the bye week right now, and the hope is that he'll be able to play in the next game against the Raiders. And just to remind you who Devonhn is, he was, in my opinion, on pace at least to certainly make a viable candidate run for Offensive Rookie of the Year before he got hurt. And he was, in fact, drafted out of Texas A&M and part of that prolific offense of the Miami Dolphins in the beginning of the season. Third-round pick, 84th overall, and the numbers he put up were incredible in just 5 games. I beg your pardon, in just 4 games. 38 carries, 460 yards, and the 12.1 yards per carry is legendary stuff. 5 touchdowns as well. And it's no secret, we talked a little bit about this earlier in the week, that the Dolphins' rushing attack hasn't been the same without him. It's been evident in the last 3 games where Miami has really struggled, and they're 1-2 in those last 3 games. Now, Achane has played only 5 games this year, so not entirely representative of with Devonhn Achane and without, but you get the idea. First 6 games, 5-1, 181 yards rushing per game, the 15 rushing touchdowns compared to just 80 yards per game in the last 3. So getting Devonhn Achane back will be a welcome addition to this Dolphins offense. And it's no secret that Achane represents one of the fastest players in the NFL. And looking at the next-gen stats, if you will, the Dolphins have the 5 fastest miles per hour clock times from earlier this season, and Devonhn Achane is responsible for 2 of them. So this guy is a playmaker with the rock in his hand. There is no doubt about it. So not only will this Dolphins offense benefit from having Devonhn Achane back, but when you pair him with the likes of Tyreek Hill and Raheem Mostert, those are your 5 fastest players in the NFL clocked to this date. Now, a little bit more on Devonhn Achane from Marcel Louis-Jacques, another Dolphins insider, talking about what Mike McDaniel had to say about Devonhn Achane. No setbacks, says Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel. He doesn't see any reason why Achane wouldn't be ready to return from injured reserve when eligible after the bye week. But, as always, this is important, so make sure you note it there at the very bottom. 1 day at a time. So now it's our time to call your shot. Give me a little prediction here. Let me know what you think in the comments. You think Devonhn Achane returns in week 11? Type Y for yes or N for no. Now, if and when, let's go with when. When's a little bit more fun, right? When Devonhn Achane returns, he's the unquestioned RB2, perhaps even RB1, but Mostert's had a great season. Chris Brooks still on injured reserve. Salvon Ahmed has filled that backup running back role, hasn't done a ton, and don't forget Jeff Wilson also on the roster and returning to the action. Played in 2 games so far and had more of a role in that game in Germany against the Kansas City Chiefs. But there is no doubt about it, Devonhn Achane is special with the football in his hands. Now, coming up, we'll talk about a couple of new roster moves that the Dolphins have made during this bye week because, again, it's the bye week, and we get a chance kind of at the halfway point of the season to catch our breath a little bit, and the Dolphins have made a few roster moves that I want to touch on. But first, want to give a huge shout-out and a sincere thank you and send some love to today's presenting sponsor. That is Prize Picks. Now, you've heard me talk about Prize Picks before, but just in case you haven't, let's review. Prize Picks is the largest independently owned daily fantasy sports platform, so you know it's the best. It's also a little bit addicting, I'm not going to lie, because it is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. And you guys are used to giving you your picks, but I'm changing it up a little bit. I bet you didn't know I'm a hockey guy as well. That's right, I love every sport. But my picks for the upcoming week, I'm going with more saves for Ville Husso. That's right, mixing in a little hockey. And more points for Jason Tatum. So you can even mix and match your picks with Prize Picks. And here's how it works. You pick more or less on a player's projected stat line. So forget competing against a bunch of experts and sharks. And hey, I know your fantasy team sucks, so forget the fantasy sports as well. Play daily fantasy sports. It's a blast. Very, very exciting. And for being a Dolphins fan, we've got a special promo for you. You know we do. It's prizepicks.com/CLNS, and that's where you'll get a $100 deposit match. And so, hey, you might have tuned me out, so tune back in. prizepicks.com/CLNS, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. A $100 deposit match waiting for you at prizepicks.com/CLNS. And we'll do you one better. We'll put the link in the description and the comments of today's video as well. So just in case you tune me out, I got it one more time, prizepicks.com/CLNS. Now, a couple of roster moves that were made by the Miami Dolphins, and it might not seem like a lot, but hey, it happens, so let's touch on it. The Dolphins signed to the practice squad Brandon Pili. Now, it might sound familiar, and it should, because Pili was an undrafted free agent that's been with the Dolphins for the majority of this season. He's a rookie out of USC, and again, he's been with the Dolphins for the majority of this season, and when Terron Armstead was coming back to the lineup just last week, they, being the Miami Dolphins, needed to make room on the 53-man roster, so Brandon Pili was waived, but lo and behold, he is back. That's right, back to the practice squad. And again, that was done when he was waived. It was done to make room for Terron Armstead. So obviously with Terron Armstead being healthy, now Brandon Pili signed to the practice squad. And with that signing, Rashad Lawrence is released from the practice squad. So nothing to sound the alarms on or anything like that. Merely just a small roster move. But hey, Brandon Pili's been with this Dolphins team for the majority of the season. So let's go ahead and show him some love. Welcome back, Brandon Pili. Type BP in the chat. You never know when some depth might be needed on the defensive line, and he can step in and make an impact. So welcome back, BP. And as always, we got to show some love to the Aqua Club members, because the Aqua Club members help keep the lights on here at Chat Sports. And just in case you didn't know what the Aqua Club is, it's real simple. It's the highest level of membership within the Dolphins Today community, and it helps us bring you live daily shows, daily content, and of course, our live watch parties, which we'll be having the next time the Dolphins are in action against the Las Vegas Raiders in week number 11 of the National Football League. But don't worry, we still have our live show on a Wednesday, so make sure you join us for that. It's always a good time, and it's your next chance to join the Aqua Club. So let me show some love to everybody in the Aqua Club. This could be you. Who's it going to be next? We sure appreciate your support of Dolphins Today as we bring you the latest and greatest from the Aqua and Orange. And reminder, this is your one-stop shop for all things Miami Dolphins, daily Dolphins videos, live Dolphins shows, and of course, our live watch parties. So thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like and go ahead to subscribe as well. Shout out to my producer, Tex, on the day. Always enjoy being in studio with him and enjoy bringing you daily Dolphins content on Dolphins Today by Chat Sports. And we'll see you next time here on Dolphins Today.